Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. This is Dragon Spirit for the Grafx 16/PC engine. I think this was based on a Namco arcade. I'm pretty sure I've actually got this game on the Namco arcade collection compilation on the Xbox 360. But this, from what I can recall playing of that, this seems to be a pretty faithful and good conversion of it. It's certainly very, very playable. It's easy to play, and it does take advantage of the TurboGrafx 16 has this rather novel feature built into the joypad whereby you can set the auto fire rate on the buttons. There's three settings. There's just the normal fire rate where you have to keep pressing the button, and there's also a medium fire rate and a super fast one. And it's kind of unusual to think nowadays that such a feature would exist on an official joypad. But many years ago, most joysticks that you would buy, especially third-party ones for the home computers, like the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum and Amstrad and Amigas and stuff, a lot of the third-party ones, like your QuickShot joysticks and what have you, all had auto-fires built into them. Well, the majority of them had auto-fire built into them. And I imagine for the sole purpose back then it was to try to reduce wear and tear on components for a lot of the frenetic shooters, because of the fact that there was so few buttons on the joypads and joysticks. I mean, they usually, the TurboGrafx 16 has 2 fire buttons, but back with joysticks there was only 1, and especially the micro switched ones, if you were constantly pounding on the fire button all the time, it would probably reduce the longevity of the joystick. So I reckon it was probably as much to do with trying to make their product last a bit longer and not come across as being so cheap and nasty as much as anything else. But with a joypad, an official joypad at that, it was quite an unusual thing to come across. I don't think I've ever come across it before on an out-of-the-box joypad. I mean, they may make official joypads that, you know, have extra features built in, but certainly not ones that come as standard with the console. I know the NES didn't, and the Super NES didn't. The Master System and Mega Drive pads, they certainly didn't. Not out of the box, as far as I'm aware. And you know, God, on modern day consoles, there's probably a perception of you being a cheat if you use auto fire, especially online. But yeah, this is a game that does take full advantage of that, and I suppose you could argue it does make the game easier in some areas, but I still found it, you know, a decent challenge. It just means you're not constantly having to hammer a fire button, which does make playing a game a lot more enjoyable, believe me. Less likely to get more of the arthritic pain, shall we say, later on in life. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed playing this. I think the graphics are quite good. The sound's not too bad either. And as you can see here, you get nice boss battles. And what's nice as well is you don't instantly die in the game when you get hit by something. You do have life, and I think you can take about 2 or 3 hits before your dragon dies. And that's the other thing I like about it as well. You know, it's sort of a novel take on a vertically scrolling shooter. It's not, you know, it's not your standard spaceship or World War I or II fighter plane or jet fighter or whatever. It's a nice sort of fantasy setting, and it works really well. I mean, all they've basically done is substitute the, you know, the sprites for, you know, something out of a fantasy setting, but it works, and it does provide an interesting gameplay experience above and beyond the bog standard shooters that were around in the day. And yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's a really good game. It's well worth checking out. Again, it's another one of those you'll probably find on eBay, various prices, so it's well worth shopping around to try and find one at a decent price. So yeah, that's Dragon Spirit on the TurboGrafx 16/PC engine, and well worth checking out. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned to my channel for more videos to come.